Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for Thursday, November 20, 2025. I'm Adana Doric. In the headlines tonight, President Ali slams ruling blocking GRA's post-clearance tax powers. Chancellor backs GRA. Nation's tax powers reaffirms, says AG. Culture exchange or more debt, Safety Council warns. Minister Edgehill praises high compliance as crackdown on overloaded trucks expands. Guyana mobilizes. 16 days of activism targets violence, silence, and national inaction. Now, for the news in depth. President Irfan Ali on Wednesday sharply criticized Justice Gino Prasad's recent decision preventing the Guyana Revenue Authority (GRA) from levying post-clearance taxes in the luxury vehicle case involving U.S. indicted businessman Azadin Mohammed, insisting that such reviews are lawful, long established, and vital to the customs system. Here is more.
Speaking during a live broadcast, President Ali stressed that post-clearance audits and assessments are by no means novel, describing them as a cornerstone of customs operations for decades. He noted that the GRA's efforts to strengthen its capacity to verify declarations after goods leave the port align with the standards endorsed by the World Customs Organization.
Post-clearance audits and assessments are by no means novel. For decades, these mechanisms have been integral to the customs architecture. Historically, such functions were executed through the Inspections Department of the former Customs and Excise Department, now subsumed within the GRA.
Justice Prasad ruled last Friday that the GRA could not impose post-clearance taxes amounting to $421 million on a Lamborghini and two other vehicles imported by Mohammed. The GRA has since appealed the judgment, a move President Ali said he fully supports, pointing to several laws, including the Customs Act and the Income Tax Act, that empower the state to recover outstanding taxes. He argued that the ruling undermines the tax authority's ability to collect revenues owed to the state.
That ruling, now slated for appeal by the GRA, has been widely criticized as perverse, internally inconsistent, and disconnected from both established custom practice and the evident intention of the Custom Act 8201.
In contrast, he welcomes Monday's decision by Acting Chancellor Roxanne George in the Jahenju matter, which affirmed that the GRA can lawfully issue post-clearance assessments even when initial documentation appears compliant.
Brings coherence to the law and protects the revenue of our country. This welcome clarity stands in stark contrast to the earlier ruling by Justice Gino Prasad, a decision that has confounded many observers and which the Guyana Revenue Authority regards as fundamentally flawed.
Reiterating government's position, he added that the Chancellor's judgment confirms that post-clearance reviews are essential to safeguarding the public purse.
Welcomes our clear, authoritative, and well-grounded judgment, which reestablishes coherence in customs jurisprudence and ensures that the GRA can continue fulfilling its mandate without artificial or ill-conceived constraints.
Adana Dora, Ghana TV9 News.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal has sharply criticized what he calls misleading interpretations of a recent High Court ruling involving the Guyana Revenue Authority (GRA), stressing that Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Roxanne George, has now delivered a clear and authoritative judgment affirming GRA's legal powers.
Speaking during his weekly program, Issues in the News, Nandlal said the new ruling settles the confusion created after another judge barred GRA from reassessing taxes in the high-profile Lamborghini case involving businessman Azadin Mohammed. He emphasized that Justice George's decision firmly establishes that the GRA's Post-Clearance Audit Unit, PCAU, is lawful, empowered, and operating within the Customs Act.
This is the Chancellor of the Judiciary now to accede to the applicant's contention would mean that an importer could make false declaration. And that is exactly what the GRA is contending was done in relation to that motor vehicle. False declaration. And here the Chancellor is taking the bull by the horn. It would mean that an importer could make a false declaration to the GRA, and once their goods have been entered and cleared, the authority, meaning the GRA, could not be able to conduct a further assessment. And the judge is saying that even though the Taxing Act must be strictly construed, the fact is that the provisions of the Act, provisions of the Customs Act, identified by GRA, permit the reassessment of taxes after the goods had been entered and cleared.
Justice George's ruling stemmed from a separate case brought by importer Zhang Zhen Yu, who challenged the GRA's right to assess taxes after goods were released. The Chancellor rejected the challenge, confirming that GRA can review and reassess duties in cases of suspected undervaluation or incomplete declarations even after clearance. Nonetheless said this judgment restores certainty to the tax system and strengthens GRA's ability to detect fraud, enforce compliance, and recover short-paid duties.
The application for a declaration that the amounts paid by the applicant on the dates totaling whatever the sum is was unlawfully demanded and received by the Guyana Revenue Authority is dismissed. They want the monies that they paid additionally, that they were reassessed to pay. They want a declaration that monies were paid unlawfully, and the Chief Justice dismissed it. An application for an order directing the Guyana Revenue Authority to repay the sum is refused. And which is $15 million and something dollars. Cost was awarded in the sum of $250,000 to be paid by the GRA.
The Attorney General noted that the ruling directly contradicts last week's decision by Justice Prasad in the Lamborghini matter, a case the GRA has already signaled it will appeal. He said Justice George's analysis provides a more accurate interpretation of the Customs Act and reinforces the national interest in preventing revenue loss. Colwyn Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
A Lusignan woman who publicly accused a government minister of being linked to the Regent Street bombing has reportedly been taken into police custody. According to reports, the woman, identified as Annie Kimrach, was detained shortly after leaving a hair appointment. Police have not yet issued an official statement. Kimrach recently posted a video on Facebook accusing minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, of involvement in the deadly explosion. Minister Indar has strongly denied the claims and yesterday filed a formal report with the Cybercrime Division, calling the allegations fabricated, damaging, and criminal in nature. The Regent Street bombing remains under active investigation, and authorities continue to warn that misinformation could hinder national security efforts. Minister Indra later released a lengthy statement condemning the accusations and vowing to pursue legal actions. In an exclusive interview with Ghana TV9 News, Ms. Ramona Dorjin, coordinator of the Ghana National Road Safety Council, warned that Ghana's road crisis cannot be solved by enforcement alone. Dorjin emphasized that cultural behavior, community silence, and public unwillingness to intervene are driving preventable deaths, and only a people-powered movement can reverse the trend. Faith Sandy has this report.
Dorjin made it clear that every region must have active, functioning road safety councils because policing alone cannot reach every street, school route, or village corner. She called for ordinary citizens to monitor, report, and challenge dangerous driving, whether in buses, taxis, or private vehicles, breaking the cultural silence that allows reckless behavior to go unchallenged. She argued that communities must serve as first responders to road culture by speaking up, guiding young riders, and refusing to normalize speeding, noisy driving, and lane indiscipline.
they're already in place, so we're just looking forward to seeing them work, and we're looking forward also to seeing all the road safety councils in the regions being strengthened, and they're working, because one of the things is that they just need help. They just need help to be able to function effectively, because it's just volunteers that are volunteering, and as long as you don't prop them up with all the equipment and materials and so, you will find that yes, you wouldn't have that kind of interest. People won't have that kind of interest like they normally would have if there's a lot.
Ms. Durgeon highlighted how community volunteers, schools, churches, regional councils, and neighborhood groups can prevent crashes long before police arrive. She pointed to existing structures, the 10 regions, 12 police divisions, and local councils that depend on community participation to function effectively.
Let us all cooperate and be the solution, not the problem. That's what we're looking for. We have a vision. Our vision at the National Road Safety Council is to see every community, and that's why we raise Road Safety Council in all the regions, because we encouraging the community people to come and be part of the Road Safety Councils. So when you're going to do a white night campaign, it would be your community people going along with the police.
Durgeon ended with a simple but powerful message. Guyana cannot reach its 2030 road death reduction goal unless every citizen becomes part of the solution. She urged the nation to break the silence, challenge recklessness, respect speed limits. Protect vulnerable pedestrians and motorcyclists, and treat road safety as a collective duty, not a police responsibility. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
More news after the short break. Stay tuned.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaica rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
Guyana, get ready for Sundown 2025, the country's biggest electronic music and arts festival, featuring Danik from the Netherlands, Walshy Fire of Major Lazer, Lip Prince, creator of Reggaetronics, and Helang from New York. An open-air festival packed with massive light shows, art installations, and the main stage by the ocean. December 6th, Marriott Beachfront, Georgetown. Time, 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. Tickets available online at ticketgateway.com. Eventbrite and Potsalt. For physical ticket locations, visit BPM Guyana on all socials. Sundown 2025. Guyana's EDM movement starts here.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Echiel says the government's nationwide campaign to curb overloaded trucks is seeing greater cooperation than expected, with operators across the country adjusting to stricter weight rules aimed at protecting Guyana's roads and bridges. Here is more.
It's working better than I anticipated. I thought we would have had some pushback from the truckers and the owners of the trucks, but it's always a beautiful thing when you engage people in conversation and they understand.
That was Minister of Public Works Juan Echiel giving an update on the newly implemented campaign to curb overloaded trucks. According to Echiel, owners and operators at sand pits, loom pits, and quarries have agreed to stop allowing trucks to leave their premises overloaded, one of the biggest contributors to road failures across several regions. The minister announced that the government has procured 20 additional mobile skills and 1,000 wheel clamps to expand enforcement and discourage repeat offenders whose overweight loads often destroy bridges and create dangerous bulkage along major highways.
Every time you move from that spot with that overweight, you're going to break a bridge. The people on the East Coast who are complaining about the traffic, I don't think they appreciate what has happened. The trucks have destroyed and mangled all the aqua panel bridges on the East Coast. Was what you call the steel bridges with the steel decking. They have mangled it. You should see how these things. We had to close off those bridges.
He highlighted significant damage already done on the east coast of Demerara, where overweight trucks severely mangled several steel aquapanel bridges, forcing closures and accelerating the transition to concrete structures. Beyond the trucking sector, Echiel said government will also be engaging with tire shops, body repair workshops, and mechanics whose operations frequently spill onto public roads, contributing to congestion and unsafe conditions.
We want to have responsible citizens. We want to be able to have people who understand Guyana, so all Guyanese. If you have a vehicle to dump because it's in bad shape, just like how you get a crash truck to pull it from the site of the accident to your premises, there is a truck that could move it from there to the derelict site.
Indeed.
And we have to be able to get people into that mode. Let's do this together.
Echiel said enforcement teams have already weighed close to 2,000 trucks and the majority are now in compliance, an encouraging sign as the ministry moves to safeguard the country's expanding infrastructure network. Adana Doric, and TV9 News.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad has outlined a powerful national push as Ghana prepares for the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Beginning November 25th, she detailed a series of countrywide events, awareness drives, and support initiatives aimed at preventing violence against women, girls, and vulnerable groups. The ministry will mobilize communities, workplace, and public spaces under the message, "Let's stop violence, period," urging nationwide unity.
Minister Prasad stressed that violence has no boundaries. It affects anyone regardless of age, background, or status. The minister urged the public to break the harmful culture of silence, stigma, and judgment, and instead adopt a compassionate, proactive approach to protecting vulnerable persons.
Children are usually affected. When one person is killed or both parents are lost, that child is without a parent. So it has those far-reaching consequences. That is why I make sure that when I say something, I emphasize that everyone needs to make it their business. It's part of the national agenda. It's not just a person's experience. And then
she also encouraged citizens to download the iMatter app, which has been upgraded with a live chat feature that allows affected individuals to seek counseling, information, and assistance discreetly.
For the 24-hour toll-free hotline, we also have our iMatter app. We're asking people, if you already have that app, download it again as the iMatter Counselor app, because we have a live chat feature that has been added. And that gives all our service all the time.
The ministry remains committed to early intervention, survivor support, and continuous public outreach, ensuring that no vulnerable child, woman, or man is left to struggle alone.
Because the issues we deal with never sleep. These are issues that we deal with all day long, all night long, and we have teams of people when everyone is asleep dealing with anything from child abuse to gender-based violence to family violence. And what we need for people to realize that a simple intervention from anyone can make the world of difference to someone who is going through unconscionable violence.
As Guyana prepares to orange the nation from November 25th to December 10, Minister Prasad is calling on every citizen, community group, school, workplace, and family to take part. The 16 days of activism is not just a campaign, it is a life-saving movement toward building a safer, kinder, and more conscious Guyana. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GOY TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Madana Doric. Good night.